So today we got a question from Adrian, who's a young guy, and he's been training jiu-jitsu for a bit. He says he's doing pretty well as a white belt, right? He's doing well. He can hang with the other white belts, and maybe even against some of the blue belts, he can survive for a little while. But he says against like the purples and the brown belts in his gym, they just put the smash on him, and they just tap him left and right. And he said it kind of pisses him off. He's like kind of gets frustrated because he feels like, man, if these guys would show me something, if they would teach me something, maybe I'd get better. But instead, they just submit me left and right and just crush me. And he says that like when he does kind of well at the gym and hangs with the people, he's motivated, he feels good. But then when he has those days where he rolls against these brown belts and these purple belts and they put that smash on him, he gets demotivated. He kind of like says, man, I don't even want to do this stuff. And so he sent me a message asking, kind of how I would proceed in this situation. So, brother, thank you for the question. So I'll explain it like this, and I'll give you some details at the end, but I'll explain it like this right at the gate. I used to get smashed all the time. When I walked into the gym for the very first time, especially back in the day, man, there was not the process of like onboarding people. Back in the day, it was sink or swim, bro. So I walked in, I mean, it was my first day training, and my coach knee bars me, right? I was a wrestler, he put me in a knee bar. Luckily, I knew what that was, knee barred me. And then I rolled with one of my other buddies named Mike, who trains with me now. He put me in a no-gi Ezekiel. I didn't know what it was. I just felt I was choking, and I got wrecked by everybody. And I loved it. I loved every minute of it because for me, the way that I looked at it as, okay, they smash me, that's good. That means that the ceiling to improve is high because that means that they're gonna make me better. Because I knew this from wrestling. When you're around people that are good, you absorb it, right? You just like they say, birds of a feather flock together, and you are like who you surround yourself with. If you're around tough people, you're gonna become tough. You have no choice because you're just simply surrounded by them. And so for me, I was excited about it. And I mean, again, when I was training, always getting smashed. There were even other situations when I came to this gym, a different gym, where I remember rolling with one of my coaches who would just catch me in triangles left and right. And I remember getting so frustrated sometimes about the triangles, but again, I wasn't mad at him, I was frustrated with myself. But the beautiful part was eventually I got better at defending them. And then when I would go to competitions, the triangle, I used to get caught in triangles in competitions all the time too. Well, all of a sudden, as I got better at defending his triangle because he was constantly using it against me, I'd go into competitions and I'd stop getting triangled all the time. It's pretty good. I was kind of happy about it. And so one of the things that's going on right now, Adrian, is that you're being taught. You are learning even if you don't think you're learning. See, the thing about it is a lot of times we sort of equate learning to sitting in a classroom, having people spoon feed us information, right? But that's not just learning. There's the intellectual side of learning, which is what that is, and it's very valuable. But there's also this intuitive side of learning that sometimes you just can't quite put your finger on it. A lot of times in jiu-jitsu, you'll have this situation where you start doing things and you don't even know why you're doing them. I was talking to one of my white belts just the other day, and he was telling me, Chewy, I've been doing this thing and I don't know why I'm doing it, but it seems to be working, and can you look at it with me? I'm like, sure. And he was doing a sweep, which is like a legitimate sweep that he just hadn't learned yet, but he started doing it because it just felt right. And again, I told him, I was like, here's why it's working and everything else. But I experienced this too. A lot of times in jiu-jitsu, I would do things well before I could articulate why I was doing them. But it's because I was in a situation where my body figured a way out of it. Because again, in a competitive environment, you don't want to get smashed. You'll find different ways to retain your guard. If you're trying to go for a sweep and the sweep stops working, you're going to find new ways to make the sweep work. And again, sometimes it doesn't happen with, well, you do this thing and you do this thing and you do this thing and then here's how you do it. Okay, now you go, right? Where someone shows you. Sometimes you just figure it out on your own. And when you're rolling with people in the situation where they're tough, they're going to make you better. Because you get so used to rolling with someone that's tough. You get so used to rolling with someone who's very good, and that's going to raise you up, even if you don't think it is. See, this is the thing. It's not just here. Even if you don't think it is, it's going to make you better long term, and you're being taught lessons. Even when you roll with someone, if someone smashes your guard, it tells you something. It's a reflection. Your guard retention needs work, and you need to move your legs around. If you're getting armbarred left and right, well, then that's telling you something. It's a reflection saying, hey, you're getting armbarred because you're leaving your arms out, right? And that's a lesson to be learned there. So what I would do, man, is this. One, don't get so demotivated by those days. You're supposed to lose to those people. They're supposed to put a little smash on you because it's going to make you stronger, right? The old adage, iron sharpens iron. Well, they got to mold you into iron. They got to mold you into iron first and make you tougher, and then you guys can sharpen each other. Don't be demotivated by it. Be motivated by it that you're surrounded by people that are tough and that you can get that too. That was always my attitude. Like when my coach would beat the crap out of me, I'm like, yes, okay, I need to keep going after him because I'm going to keep chasing him because I want to get to that point where I can hang with him, because if I can hang with him, that means I'm pretty good. Be motivated by it instead. And then the other thing is understand that when you're going through these situations, you're learning, even if you don't think you are. Yes, it may not be like intellectually, I know how to do this thing now, but intuitively, you're starting to figure things out, even if you don't think you are, because months will pass and you'll start to adjust and do things that were never taught to you, or maybe they were taught to you and you almost forgot about them, and your body starts to just sort of take it in later on. You'll have these light bulb moments that just happen for whatever reason. And so again, it's going to happen in that situation with you where you're training and sometimes you're getting smashed and you don't feel like it's benefiting you, but in the long term it probably is. As long as it's safe and they're not hurting you, you're probably just fine. And yeah, I mean that's it, man. Don't be demotivated. Don't be motivated by the fact that you're getting smashed. Be motivated by it, because it means that you're surrounded by tough people that are going to make you better long term, and they have a lot to give you. So that's the idea for you, Adrian. I hope this is helpful to you, brother, and I'll talk to you guys next time.